Texas. They say everything's bigger here, and they're right. We've got big cars, big hearts, and even bigger steaks. This is beef country, Texas, home to the Alamo, the Cowboys, and the largest military installation known to man. So big, it has a big name. Fort Hood, the great place. It's got a Texas-sized podcast as well. And this is it, right here, Fort Hood's great big podcast. Yeehaw.
So, Brianna has left again.
She has.
It's like a theme.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Brianna's here, and she goes. And she's here, and she goes.
Well, she is a soldier.
Yeah, I was going to say, life of a soldier.
Yeah.
You got stuff to do. You can't just hang around and be on the podcast all the time.
Well, we can.
Well, if you're a public affairs soldier, maybe, but
Yeah.
where are they?
Not if you're a flautist,
No, she is a professional flautist.
musician.
Mm-hmm. She was griping online about the new pinks and greens.
Yeah.
Do
Do you like them?
I do. I like classical style though, so that gives
Really?
me a warm World War II vibe. And we were winning in World War II, so that's a good thing. We would want to bring back the Vietnam clothes because that's, people are like, but no, World War II, we were doing good stuff. Then next, it's swing. They will bring back swing.
Yeah.
But she had the picture. She said, "Oh, I'm tired of having to change uniforms again. How many times have I had to change uniforms since I've been in the Army?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Hey, look at it this way. With the new uniform, you'll be the boogie woogie flautist girl from Company B. The Company B would be the band." So,
Yeah, she'd have to go with the really big Andrew Sisters hairdo too.
Oh, they're
right?
like, she could do it though. She's got
got a lot of hair. Yeah.
She could do it. I could not.
No.
I could not. And
Yeah.
even if I could, I probably would not look very good like that.
Yeah.
But no,
wig,
I like those classical look, and I actually liked it every time we changed uniforms when I was in, because it gave me, I don't know, I like new stuff.
Well, when we deployed, they gave you freebies.
Yeah,
You didn't have to buy all those.
I'm not a keen supporter of the Velcro with the uniforms, though.
Really?
No, especially like on the pockets. So with the ACUs
Yeah.
that we had, that's the one with the digital pattern over it.
Yeah.
These were supposed to be the super tactical Army uniform. Only all your pockets were Velcroed shut. So yeah, you're hiding from the enemy and you need to get something in your pocket and it's... Who thought that up?
Very slowly.
We went from buttons to Velcro.
Yeah, I hated buttons though, man.
Yeah, but
Come
Velcro
on.
is not tactical.
I mean, when you got to go, buttons,
That's true.
they're no fun.
Well, the fly on that wasn't, but it was buttons.
Yes, it was.
It was. Well, you can't Velcro a fly
Why not?
because eventually the Velcro gives out.
Okay.
And you're just walking around with your barn doors open. Well, I guess it's time to get a new uniform then.
Yeah,
Got the barn doors, get a new uniform.
exactly.
So,
All right. And what brought up the whole uniform thing?
well, just thinking of Brianna and the pinks and greens coming
Yeah.
in. And we also have someone here with us now who wears a uniform.
We do.
Yes, someone from the 13th ESC. That's correct? The
Expeditionary Support Command?
Sustainment command, sir.
Sustainment Command. There we go.
Not the button on the computer. The 13th Escape.
ESC.
ESC.
Yeah.
She is First Lieutenant Juliet Sanford, and she, there's something special and magical about her, something that I was not expecting.
Really? Tell
Yeah.
me what it is.
Well, let's have her tell us what it is. What is it?
I am actually a finalist for the Miss Veteran America 2020 competition.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. So what is Miss Veteran America? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I've never heard of it. So catch us up. what is it?
Miss Veteran America is a competition that showcases the woman beyond the uniform. It helps to remind the public of how we are mothers, sisters, wives, so on and so forth. But it also provides a platform for us to advocate on behalf of homeless female veterans.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Wow. So it shows that you're more than just a soldier, more than the uniform.
Yes.
To pull back to my uniform.
Okay, back. Is
See?
that the tie-in?
Full circle
Ooh.
there. Okay. So how did you find out about this? Because like I said, I've never heard of this, but I don't follow pageants so much. So
So in Miss Veteran America wasn't born until 2012, so it
Okay.
is fairly new. It is a growing competition. We're seeing more and more women veterans become interested in it because there is no age threshold like most competitions have. And then in 2014-15 timeframe, a friend of mine who is an NCO had reached out and said, "Hey, you'd be great for this. You can do this. I believe in you." But back then, I'm still very introverted and shy, and I don't like putting myself out there in certain circumstances.
Makes it kind of hard to do a pageant, doesn't it?
well, or a podcast.
It does. I'm extremely introverted, and I've had to teach myself how to become more extroverted. You guys
Okay.
can't tell right now, but my heart's like pounding in my
Really?
chest.
You're doing great.
Yeah, you're doing great.
I appreciate that. But then this past year, a soldier had visited me while I was working, and she goes, "Ma'am, I found out about this competition. You have to do it. You have to be a part of it. You're going to be amazing if you do this." And that was that kind of pivotal moment where I realized it's no longer about my insecurities. It's no longer about my fear of being in front of people. It's about these young women who could be looking at me as a role model, as somebody that they want to see up there, possibly representing their voice and the voices of our sisters who are homeless right now and need our assistance with being advocated for.
So you're a finalist now?
Yes.
Tell me the process of getting to the peak. You know,
So I haven't reached the peak
you're almost
yet.
at the mountaintop.
It starts with an application. You have to fill out a general application about yourself. And then if you're active duty, you have to have a letter of support from your command, which I gratefully received from the 13th ESC.
Because it takes a little time away, I would imagine.
Yes.
Okay.
The biggest part of it is that they acknowledge that should I become Miss Veteran America 2020, I'll be required to go on certain weekends or weekdays where I would have to go represent.
Yeah, you're a
and
representative.
volunteer and everything.
Sure.
And the command has been very supportive of that. I'm so grateful. My current battalion commander, when he found out, he was like, "Hey, we got to tell everybody." And so I was
That's
extremely,
great.
it's amazing to see the level of support within the 13th ESC for this.
Sure.
Fantastic. So, so you had to fill out the form. And then what does the actual competition look like? Now, is it, because I know what the
Is it virtual now, COVID?
Yes. So the initial phase was like a board packet like we would do for the Army.
Sure.
Interesting.
And so a panel of judges looked at this packet, and from there, if you were selected out of that bundle, you went into the semifinals.
So did you have to have like a headshot in there or what?
They just asked they allowed us to do just basic like cell phone pictures, but they asked for
Okay.
a civilian and a military photo,
All right.
Okay.
whatever that would consist of. And then once you made it into the semifinal, now normally we would have gone to Las Vegas for the semifinal and Florida for the finals, but due to COVID, they
COVID!
I know, I lost my chance at Vegas.
Yeah.
But they wanted to keep us safe and be able to still allow this competition to happen so that we
Sure.
can still advocate.
Sure.
So it went to a completely virtual platform, which actually made it more interesting because you don't get the feedback and the face-to-face with
Right.
your judges and the other finalists and everything. But we were quizzed on military history, Final Salute Inc., and Miss Veteran America, as well as current events.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay.
and you went before a panel of judges. And now these aren't just random judges. These are one of the main judges is a retired command sergeant major. We have an Air Force colonel, Miss Gladys. She was a World War II veteran and one of the runners up in the very first Miss Veteran America.
Okay.
Oh,
So these are some very amazing women that are involved in it.
sure.
And then we had a lip sync competition because the premise of this competition is that it's not a talent show.
Okay.
So they didn't want to have that one concert pianist come in and just wipe us all out.
Sure. Sure.
So they said everybody will get creative and you will lip sync a song and just showcase what you can do within those parameters. And so we did that. And from there, they selected the top 25.
Okay, introvert. What song did you pick?
The song is called Salute, and it's a huge women's anthem song if you've never heard it. It's not, even though it says Salute, it's not a military song. It's just a women's anthem song, and I recommend any woman listen to it.
Okay.
Just listen to it while you're doing your makeup, and you'll be all pumped up.
Well, I would say I have a suggestion maybe for next year. I think the lip syncing thing sounds fun and all that,
Yeah.
but being that you're military, you all should have to blow stuff up.
That would be amazing.
Wouldn't that be
That would
great?
be fun.
Well, I'm just curious because we haven't determined this yet. What is your day job?
My day job, I am a human resources officer.
Okay.
HR.
HR.
Yes. That,
Okay.
that good old S1.
You can still, don't let that hold you back. You can still blow stuff up. This is the Army.
Hey.
You can,
Those shredders, you put them on steroids, man.
Yeah.
You can do some damage, right?
Yes, you really could.
so how are you feeling about the finals? Are you nervous?
Oh, 100%.
What is your game plan here?
My game plan
Mhm.
is to remember that it's not about me
Mhm.
and just go out there and do my best.
Mm-hmm.
The more difficult aspect of it is because we were virtual, we actually had to record this past Friday. I recorded my 2 pageant walks and then my lip sync portion.
So is this like the red carpet walk or
Yes.
the models on
Where
Project
they
Runway?
walk out and you stop.
Yep.
And you turn.
Oh boy, power walk.
Yes.
Well, the cool thing about that is, I imagine if you screw it up, you can do it again.
Can
if
you
it's
do it?
virtual, right?
So you can.
How high were your heels?
My highest ones were about 3.5, 4 inches.
Okay,
That's some high heels.
that's some high heels.
Well, I'm only 4'11", so I had to make sure that I would fit.
Give yourself a little bit of height. In
Yeah.
that.
But it's on video. No one will know. No, just put the camera down, shoot it up.
Yeah, you look 6 feet tall.
You'll look giant.
Oh, man.
But being that it's not about you,
Mm-hmm.
let's talk a little bit about homeless female veterans.
Yes.
What can you tell us about that? Because that's not an issue. You see homeless veterans a lot, but you
Right.
don't see female thrown into the mix. So what can you tell us about that?
You just kind of hit the nail on the head right there, is the fact that we hear about homeless veterans all the time, but not necessarily female veterans, is because it's such an underrepresented population.
Mhm.
Now, a lot of our VA systems, their healthcare practices in place, are targeted towards our male population because they're huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the nature of the beast in the current state of things.
Sure.
And we're not angry about that at all. We just we understand that we need to do more for the female side. Well,
Mhm.
part of the VA's screening process is to kind of identify those with the, I guess, markers of possible homelessness, that like different aspects of their medical history that could cause them to become homeless.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Well, because female veterans don't necessarily have the care that they need at VA systems, they seek outside sources and aren't accounted for.
Sure.
And then on top of that, a lot of homeless female veterans aren't necessarily on the street. They're couch surfing,
Okay.
and a lot of
Right.
them have children with them. I believe that 70% of the female veterans that went to Final Salute Inc. for assistance were mothers
Mm-hmm.
when they were seeking assistance to become more stable to find a shelter. And another part of that is a lot of the homeless shelters for veterans, they're targeted towards the male population. Understandable.
Right.
It's a huge population.
Mm-hmm.
But then they don't feel as safe or secure, especially if they have children or were victims of sexual assault, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And so these women are just not accounted for. And I believe in 2016, the government estimate was like 4,500.
Mm-hmm.
But then studies by doctors who were taking into account all these other factors that weren't just accounted for by like HUD and everything
Mhm.
Right.
are actually estimating that it was about 15,000 in 2016.
Oh, wow.
And now it's estimated to be anywhere between 50 and 55,000.
Wow.
So the
That's a
number is steadily growing. But
Mhm.
again, it's just an underrepresented population because if you compare it to the number of veterans overall that are homeless, it's still minute, but it doesn't make them any less important.
Well, that's scary in and of itself.
Right.
You may not have the answer to this, and that's okay.
Mhm.
But why are they homeless?
I don't have the single right answer.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many factors. A huge part of it is that a lot of mothers have, or a lot of the women are mothers.
Mhm.
So you have to think, even just in today's economy, take out the veteran factor. With COVID hitting, a lot of single parents are becoming homeless because they're not having a source of income, and then they choose between keeping the lights on or feeding their babies.
Yeah.
Right.
Now factor in becoming a veteran in that situation. Did that mother experience any type of PTSD? Was she assaulted? Did she have a significant other at one point and then they split up and she had already gotten out at that point because she was going to be a stay-at-home mom, and now her only other source of income is gone?
Right.
There's just so many factors that it's hard to pinpoint the one, but they all add in.
Just so many things. You know, it's not talked about a lot, but being a service member while being married provides a lot of support at home.
Mm-hmm.
The nature of the job, the moving around and the stresses, that can make being married very difficult.
Well, there's a high divorce rate.
Especially if your significant other was never in the service, so maybe they don't quite get it.
Right.
There's a lot of service specific stresses that it seems like only someone else who served will understand. So yeah, and it's a tragic thing. It's so good that you are shining a light on this, though, because, you know, honestly, for myself, I had seen homeless veteran stuff on social media, but I had never seen female
Right.
homeless veteran. If there's anybody out there that's on the verge of homelessness or needs a leg up, do you know who they can contact? Is there a place they can turn? Because like you said, shelters are geared towards men. So where can a woman turn who needs help?
Final Salute Inc. And if you can't find information on that, you can always reach out to me directly and I'll put you in contact with them. I have no issue with helping my sisters.
All right. Well, we're not going to have you put your phone number out on here.
What was that? Was that a website?
FinalSaluteInc.org.
Okay. Final
Salute
Salute
Inc.
Inc.
dot
.org.
Correct.
And they're there to help female veterans.
Yes, sir.
That's fantastic.
Yes, it is.
That's good. Maybe it's probably just because I'm a guy.
Uh-huh.
I don't, and I feel like a jerk now because I'm like, I can't believe I've never even thought of this.
Well, you know, homelessness, it kind of smacks you in the face when you drive down to Austin because Texas, the weather's nice and there's more homeless people. Where I grew up in Wisconsin, you didn't see a lot of homeless people because they wouldn't make it through the winter, right? But down here, it's everywhere. And it doesn't really cross my mind that, well, that person, you know, was in the military at some point. You just kind of look at them and go, wow. I mean, my church group went down. This was a couple of years ago. We took the kids. It was the thing to bring the kids. Like kids were junior, senior high schools, and went down there and did some ministry. There's a group, Lutheran group down there that ministers to them, brings them food, brings stuff, right? And we took the kids down there. It was very eye-opening for the kids. For me, it was sad, but I mean, I've been in other places that are a lot sadder than that.
Sure.
So I mean, Mogadishu, Somalia, and downtown Austin, big difference, right? But still, these are Americans. And what was shocking to me and was shocking to my kids, though, was that most of the homeless that we saw down in Austin on this ministry mission we went on were teens. Vast majority of them were younger.
Wow.
Like half.
Wow. I can't imagine,
Yeah.
But having served and then gotten out of the military, I can tell you it is such a hard shift from being in a system where you're so used to, in a way, being taken care of.
Sure.
The paycheck always shows up. There's always someone to turn to if you have a problem.
Right.
There's all these little benefits that you don't even realize you're getting until they're not there.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, because you're used to showing up for work every day, you're used to getting up early and doing PT and you have this set routine.
Yep.
And in a way, hey, look who's here. It's Brianna Doe.
And
Hey,
she
welcome
made it.
back. You made it. Yay. Welcome back, Brianna Dew.
Thank you.
Thank you. You can take the mask off. None of us
Yes.
are infected.
I will.
As far as we know. But I was talking about what it's like to get out of the military. So what you don't realize is, so you get out and you kind of mentally want to take a break. I don't have to get up early in the morning. I don't have to do anything. I'm free.
I don't have to do PT. Now I'm going to gain weight.
But you also don't have an income. There's that last check that hits.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, you're free. And I can see how it would be extremely difficult because now you've got to beat the streets and find yourself a job. And that doesn't always come immediately. And that first paycheck from that job also does not come immediately.
Yes.
So it takes a lot of pre-planning. And in this economy, COVID economy, I would say a lot of luck.
Yes.
Probably. So the fact that you're really shining a light on homeless female veterans, man, that's just, I think it's wonderful. And it's cool that the pageant, I almost said beauty pageant. It's really not a beauty pageant, though.
No.
The pageant revolves around that. So it's bringing female service members to do good.
Yes.
So if you win, what are your duties like?
I am going to be required to advocate on behalf of Miss Veteran America and Final Salute Inc. And then they'll take me to certain engagements where I will represent the organization and speak on behalf of the homeless female veterans. So to continue to raise awareness and bring light to the situation.
Absolutely.
And just, like, you don't have to feel, you said earlier you felt like a jerk for not knowing or not realizing. But we don't want anybody to feel like a jerk. We just want them to acknowledge and understand the current situation, that it's not just a tiny little population anymore, that it's continuously growing.
Sure.
And eventually it's going to overwhelm possibly the organization if it doesn't get the support that it needs.
Well, hopefully being on the Army's #1 podcast is going to bring some support your way. Brianna, being that you just got here and are catching up, she's going, what is happening in this room?
I'm trying to piece together
Yeah.
what y'all are talking about.
Do you have any questions about our guest?
Yes.
Shoot.
So how did you get into this organization? How did you find out about it?
We already covered
Oh,
that.
you did?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry. Go
dang.
try again.
Okay.
Next one.
What is you said it's a pageant? What is
A competition.
the competition? What is that like?
All right, we
Y'all
already
talk
talked
oh
about
my
it.
gosh, what I have no context here.
I know.
So it's a yearly thing? A yearly competition?
Yes, it's a
Okay.
yearly competition that started in 2012.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, we already talked about it.
Okay, well, I feel like I'm going to be redundant here.
But here's something that feel free to borrow. What is it like to be a female in the military?
Oh, it's so difficult.
Is it?
Yes, it is. I feel like a lot of females, we feel like we have to represent, like be as tough as the men, or try to keep up and not be a burden, or try to validate, our existence or why we are where we are. And so there's a little bit of like that pressure. And for me, I've been injured for so long. Like I got injured in the beginning of my career, and I'm still suffering from the effects of that. And so there's a lot of, I've had permanent profiles and things I can't do. So then I feel like I can't contribute as much to the team. And I think in organizations like the military, like if you can't keep up, it just feels like you're falling behind, or that you're a burden. And there's a lot of like the mental stigmas and things to try to overcome. It's a little bit difficult, Well, so I feel kind of bad.
Well, ma'am, do you find what Brianna said to be a similar thing that you've experienced?
Yes, I unfortunately do. I just didn't realize it until a couple years ago. So I spent 10 years enlisted.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the biggest things that stuck out in my mind was when I made staff sergeant, I was, how old was I? I was like in my late 20s because I'm 31 now. And
you don't look a day over 25.
I will take it.
I was trying not to be audibly shocked when you said
Yeah, I've crested the dirty 30, so. But I remember these male soldiers, and I won't even say soldiers because sometimes it was just a male counterpart from a different service, not necessarily a soldier. They would be, oh, they just promote anybody. She's like 20. And the interesting thing was my male counterparts who promoted at the same rate that I did never received any slack. He was a high-speed soldier. He is ahead of his game. He must be a rock star. It's like, hold up. Why am I just promoted because I'm a girl? How come I'm not getting that? She must be high speed. She must be busting her butt to get ahead of her peers and things like that. And like specialists do,
Yes.
had touched on, you feel like you have to work twice as hard to be looked at even remotely.
Yeah.
So I'm only 4'11" and I'm barely a $115.
Right.
But I would try to lift stuff that was 160 pounds.
Yeah.
I'd try to lift ammo cans like 2 at a time just to attempt. And I had to do that so that my male counterparts would look at me with more respect than they would that their buddies. Because they like, oh, at least she made the attempt. Let me go help her. But if I had asked them, it could have easily turned into, oh, female soldiers always looking for the males to help them. And it's just,
No, I get that.
it's like we have physiological differences.
Sure.
There are just some things I physically cannot do, even if I would like to. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
made of steel like Wonder Woman.
Right.
And that aspect of it was very difficult. But then you also have those male counterparts who are like, hey, we see you. You're kicking butt. Keep going. Don't let the others get you down. It's just a culture thing that needs to gradually change. We want it to change instantly, but we know it won't. So we keep striving to work harder to be recognized and respected the way our male counterparts
So
are.
you've been in more than a couple of years, because I saw a first lieutenant and I went, okay, she's only been in. No. I'm trying to figure out how old you are. And that's why I said you didn't look a day over 25. But all right, former staff sergeant, more than a decade in service, right?
Yes, sir.
How has the Army changed in the 10 years you've been in? For the worse, for the better? Where are we?
I would never say better or worse. I would just say different.
Really?
So
Interesting.
we have certain aspects of the Army. Well, I'll hear folks who are even older than me say, oh, the Army's gone soft, discipline has changed, kids ask why now. And I'm like, but they're also creative, intuitive, their voices are heard. You have leadership that now looks at their junior soldier. What creative idea do you have to make our organization better? So in some aspects, maybe things have changed that other generations don't agree with, but they're also good with that change. So it's always evolving, always changing, and we have to embrace that change and then just steer the basics the way we need it to. So if we need more discipline, bring in more discipline, but don't let that need take away from the good that's been coming with these changes.
Sure. It's easy, especially for me as someone who was in, to look back.
And me.
You get older and you say, I mean, it's stereotypical, but it's true. Things were better when I was younger.
Yeah,
Things were better when I was in.
You know what? Pushing 60, served almost 30 years. No, I don't think like that.
Yeah.
I don't think everybody that is retired or did, a 30-year career thinks like that. There's a lot of them on social media that, when I served, no, the world changes.
Yes.
Values change. The Army, though, has their, leadership, the seven Army values. If they can stay true to those, even as the country evolves, because they're very basic, I think the Army will be just fine.
Yes.
But we don't really do that all the time. I think we fall short.
So how much do you think it's changed since you have a wider?
Oh, God. I
frame
mean,
of
I had
reference.
Vietnam veterans for drill sergeants when I went through in 79.
Oh my goodness.
And wore a pickle suit the Vietnam era. That was my first uniform. And it changed to BDUs in the early 80s. It changed. I went through 5 uniform changes. So I heard you were complaining.
I was.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, girl. Right? I don't want to hear it. I went through 5 uniform changes in 27 years. But I changed when I was 18, coming straight out of college, right? Bright-eyed, wide-eyed, and just, what? You know? Versus when I'm 47 and I'm retiring, right? And coming back from Iraq. By the way, I was stop loss. Charlie and I were in Iraq. I was supposed to go back early, and we were there for the surge. And I ended up
going and going.
I went early staff in bed because I was supposed to retire and come back early. I ended up being there 17 months.
Oh, good night.
They were there 15.
Yeah,
15.
12
And I was there. Well, I was there 2. I was there 2 months ahead.
Wow.
Staff in bed. So from 18 and 30 years later, I had a break in service. That's why it's only 27 years. The Army had changed completely, right? To me.
Okay.
And my perception of the Army. Because when you're a PV1, 6 leave nothing, 18-year-old going off to basic, the Army is like, what?
Yeah.
Right? Versus, you've grown up in the ranks, you've done your job, hey, I got to be a broadcast journalist and, a public affairs guy in the Army. And they taught me that when I was 18, straight out of high school, because I wrote for my high school paper. And I scored good on my ASVAB,
Yeah.
but, the world changed. And world history changed. We fought wars. We went places. We did this. We did that. We did the other thing. And hopefully we learned from it. The problem we have today, the biggest problem I see is it's not an Army thing. It's people wanting to forget history. People wanting to forget where you came from. Because if you don't know where you came from, there is no way you know where you're going. And that's the biggest thing that I think we're losing today. And that has nothing to do with the Army. I think the Army will be just fine as long as they stick to those 7 values. And the people that are in the Army believe them.
Yes.
And treat each other appropriately according to those values. When we don't, then it was a lot better in my time. But the grass was never greener in the 70s or the 80s or the 90s or the aughts, right? And it's just going to continue.
Well, I think, for me when I was in, I didn't care if the person next to me was female or what color they were or what orientation they were. Right. Can you shoot straight?
Yeah.
Are you not
got my back?
Are you not going to run off or freeze when the stuff goes down?
Yep.
All right, good to go. Good to go, because part of the Army to me was having each other's backs.
Yeah.
That sense of family and community, and that doesn't really exist outside of the service so much. It's a wonderful thing that we have in the Army, and when that trust gets broken, it's awful.
Yeah.
It's awful. But that trust exists beyond. Once you serve, you're always a member of the family, and that shows in what you're doing in your outreach to the homeless female veterans.
Yes.
You're always, once you're part of the family, you're always in.
Yep.
We might be a little bit dysfunctional, but we're what you got.
We do put the fun in dysfunctional.
Yes, we do. Well, hey, I want to thank you for having you on the show. When is the final competition? When are you going to know?
The finals, when they do our final question and announce the winner, is October 11th.
All right.
October 11th.
So
it's one day after the Army 10-miler.
It's kind of, somebody has opened the door. What is happening? Oh, okay. Hey, our next guest. We'll get to you in just a second, sir. I know you're excited. Yes. I know you're excited. Yes, very excited. All right. Well, once again, thanks for having you on. We wish you the best. We'll be following along to see how you turn out.
Sounds good.
You've got
Kick
our
butt,
vote.
take names, win.
Yeah.
I will.
Good luck.
Thank you.
And we will have more. We'll have another interview.
Yeah, we will.
obviously, right after this.
Hey, Hey golfers, are you looking for a new course to play? The Courses of Clear Creek is a 27-hole course with challenging greens located in the scenic rolling hills of Fort Hood. With a 300-yard driving range, 2 putting greens, and a 4-hole kids course, we're the premier golf course in Central Texas. Our pro shop is always stocked with the latest golfing equipment and name brand apparel, while our beautiful pavilion overlooking the course is a great place to enjoy a cold beverage. The Courses of Clear Creek, open to the public, offering annual, monthly, and summer membership packages. Give us a call today at 254-287-4130 or find us on the web at hood.armymwr.com.
No, you're not gonna die, dagnabbit. Now go wash your hands and settle down. Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast.
All right, so we're back
Yes, we are.
with the fella who yelled at us from the other room when the door was open. You know, I think
Chomping at the bit to get in this place.
that was our first double door opener segment.
Yeah.
We've had people open the door to
Once.
the podcast room.
Usually they run away.
Yeah, and this was great because he opens the door, not you, the soldier that's out there. Castle. He opens the
Oh,
door.
I'm sorry, Cassell.
Cassell, the fella opens the door, and I'm right like across from it, so I've got the eye contact, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we make the eye contact, and he takes that as it's okay to just open this whole thing up, which is fine.
Yeah.
So he does, and then we see you, and it was a great way to know that you are here, and you are.
Okay. So, but you can't hear the door or anything.
Oh, you certainly
absolutely.
You can hear
absolutely.
it.
That's
Yeah,
all,
it picks up ambient.
Yeah.
all on the official record right now.
Yeah.
That's part of the charm of the show.
Yeah.
Stuff
You never know
happens.
what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Not even us. We like to pretend like we're in control of this, but we hit the button and things occur. So, sir, who are you and what are you doing here?
So, good morning again, and I'm glad to be back here on the show. And I'm Dan Spencer. I'm the Chief of Force Protection out here at Fort Hood.
Yes, see something, say something from our fantastic episode.
Yes.
How to stop a domestic, something about domestic
Terrorist.
Terrorists,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Stop the bad guy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what brings you back?
So we're wrapping up. It's been a few weeks. Time flies when you're having fun, I guess. And we're wrapping up. So I just wanted to come back and talk about some of the great things that we were able to do and some of the great things that I saw that happened here on Fort Hood.
All right, well, hit us.
All right.
Let's
So
start this.
All right. So last time I was called Yoda, so I've been working on my Yoda.
Yes.
So
All
I'm
right,
gonna
let's hear it.
practice one of
All
my
right.
lines.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right.
Can't wait.
So, when you look at the dark side, careful you must be, for the dark side looks back.
Ooh.
Ooh,
yeah,
that
was
was
great.
acceptable.
Thank
okay.
you.
I'm going to take that, and that's going to be, I'm going to use that as a liner.
Commercial.
Yes,
for
a
the-
commercial.
No,
line.
not a commercial.
Oh, liner.
For an
Liner.
actual liner.
Oh,
The liner
was
is the part
great.
where the guy says, this is your tax dollars at work.
Yeah.
Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast. You're going to
Oh,
be,
that
you're going to
one.
live
Yes, you're
forever,
gonna
sir.
Oh, I should have
entered the
practiced
ranks
more,
of
yeah.
immortality.
It sounded great when I was at home practicing.
It sounded great
I'm
now.
so
You did
glad.
great.
It sounded great now.
I'm so glad your spare time has been spent.
You're in
doing
there
that.
with Super Mario, the voice of Super Mario.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
He's
awesome.
a liner.
Yeah, so that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. I like that.
absolutely.
It's a
Good.
good thing.
Good. So I'm excited.
So have we seen things and said things?
Well, so yes, we have. We have saw a lot of things, and
Ooh.
because people said a lot of things.
Wow.
Right. What did they say?
So through our MS Teams and a lot of our training that we had, we got a lot of feedback. We got a lot of information on reporting. And getting the information on reporting, increased reporting. So when
Yay.
people like Criminal ID and DES and 902nd, they mentioned that the increase of calls that they received as a result of
Fantastic.
the AT awarenesses.
Yes.
Nice.
Fantastic.
so
We're helping
that's-
stop the bad guys.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. And the more we, you know, and you see it all the time, but when you drill into it, the more we see something, and you have 400,000 plus people here on Fort Hood, and everyone's seeing everything. That's awesome. So we can just increase that, constantly push that reporting process. I think that's awesome. So
Yeah, because see something, say something, and awareness doesn't end when the month ends. This is just to sort of kick you in the rear end and say, hey, if you see something, say something. But it's a 24/7, all year round thing.
yes, it is. It is constant. But we take these 30 days to drive home a lot of messages that we want to spread throughout the year. And then we capture some of the things that we like that work best. And what we're hoping to do is, so we got the word out. I think we were very effective getting the word out about reporting something. So now we're hoping to instill it, and we got leadership constantly pushing that word. And it means more because we talked about it. We got into depth about it. So we're hoping it'll carry on throughout the year.
Well,
So
you know why it was so successful? Because you were on the Army's #1 podcast. Fort
absolutely.
Hood's
Yes.
great big
Yes,
podcast.
that was the secret to our success.
Let me flog that a little more.
And we certainly captured that in our AAR, and we talked about that, and we gave you guys the kudos for being the
fantastic.
largest
Yay.
podcast
Oh
and
my
successful
gosh.
podcast.
Yay. Yay. Good for us. Hooray. 3 cheers for the podcast.
Woo, hip hip, hooray!
Wait, no.
No.
Yay. there it is.
Yeah.
God knows. Someday I'll learn to label the buttons. Someday.
Nah.
Someday. Well, why don't you give everybody the means to how do you report if you do see something? Really
Okay.
quick here again.
Awesome. So there are several different ways that you can report thinking. So the easiest one is 288 COPS. Just pick up your cell phone. We highly recommend, and we talk about in a lot of our training, to go ahead and punch that number into your cell phone. So when something does happen, you automatically know. Just label it help 911 or AT reporting or 288 COPS, and you make the phone call and you report. So that's one way to report. Another way to report is iWatch, and that's an online process where you can go in and you can type, and it breaks it down for you, your information, which is optional if you request to remain anonymous.
So you can report anonymously.
You can, because we're more important about the information. But if you do provide your information, it allows us to ask questions if we have additional questions, or DES has different questions. You also have you have iWatch and iSalute, and those are so you have an app, and then you have the online process. So they're a little bit more time consuming, but getting the information through is solid, especially if you have talk. So I learned that microphone feature on my iPhone, and now if it's more than 2 words, I'm speaking. I'm not going to sit there and
just
punch
send
in
a
that
voice
sentence.
message then.
Yes. So with that feature, you can go in when it asks you for the details. You can simply talk into your app and say, "Hey, listen, I was over here by the exchange and I saw this, and they were in this car with this license plate number." As many details, and then the app or the online feature itself also gives you the details like type, identification of person, what were they wearing, vehicle colors and types, and more importantly, license plate numbers. So that's one of the things that most important information. If you can get license plate numbers, you don't have to memorize the car or anything else. So that helps DES quite a bit.
Sure. Well, because at
Very
the end of
cool.
the day, here on Post, we're all responsible for each other's safety. That's what it comes down to. It.
Absolutely.
We're all a member of a team.
Yep. One team, one fight.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a village.
It's true. It does.
it
It
absolutely
really does.
does.
And we are a huge village.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
we are.
and the more eyes you have, the more ground we cover. So that makes the program work.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to ask you before we head out here. Yoda. You got to do Yoda again. We started out with Yoda. We got to end with Yoda. We got to bookend
Okay.
this. Give me some Yoda-isms.
All right. So we'll close with I'll start with my the famous Yoda quote.
All right.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Yes.
Oh,
Right.
excellent. Hold
And
on,
then
hold
we'll-
on.
I love it.
All right.
All right,
Yeah.
now we'll close with use the force protection you must.
Also, got
I love it.
Very good.
Yes.
wild,
good.
wild
Yes.
applause for that. Well, thank you so
Guys,
much for
killing
stopping
me.
by again. We're glad that the month was successful for you and that we could help out in any way we could. And we will
Absolutely.
continue to run PSAs on the podcast to remind people that anti-terrorism awareness is not just a month, it's a daily thing you just got to do in today's
Absolutely.
world.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. And we will be back with some final thoughts right after these important messages.
Here he is, Jeff Snarkworthy.
Thank you, yeah. If you've got a sudden, unexpected fever, you might have coronavirus. If you've traveled from or through a state where coronavirus is prevalent, you might have coronavirus. If that fever of yours, if it's accompanied by a feeling of shortness of breath or difficulty breathing, you might have coronavirus.
Coronavirus is steadily spreading across not only the United States, but the world. Being aware of the signs and symptoms of coronavirus helps keep us all safe. If you suspect that you may have been infected with the virus, call 254-553-6612. That's the Fort Hood Health Hotline, 254-553-6612.
If you've been around some place where people were infected, if you got that fever, shortness of breath, and a cough, you might have coronavirus.
Coronavirus. It's no laughing matter.
Hello?
Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast. Your tax dollars at work.
Coming on strong on a Monday. I feel so low, won't be long.
Well, we were just chock full of stuff, weren't we?
Yes, we were very chalky indeed. Very chalky.
Yeah, it was a good episode.
Yeah. Yep. And now it's over.
Yeah.
Yep.
All good things must come to an end.
Well, not we
You gonna
usually,
walk out before the show's over since you walked in while it was going on?
Right?
We're now
That's the second week in a row that
I know.
I've
I know.
entered.
is that going to be your thing
Maybe that'll
that
be
you
like
enter during an interview?
yeah, that'll be my spiel.
And
You
then
tap dancing shoes or something. You know,
that'd be cool.
tap your way in.
I used to like my idea of us having a mime on the show.
You're not gonna let that die, huh?
No, that's a
But-
fantastic idea.
I can't wait.
That's a fantastic idea.
And you're gonna give play-by-play?
Play-by-play of a mime. Interview of a mime.
That would be hilarious. I don't think anyone's done that yet.
No. Well, it's the cat's out of the bag now. It'll be all over YouTube.
Yeah, that's true.
It'll be on Joe Rogan will have a mime
Yeah,
on his
someone's
next
gonna
3 hours of a
get a
mime.
viral video and make
Isn't it Mel
bank.
Brooks that interviewed Marcel Marceau?
No, Marceau had in the history of, I think it's the history
of the world.
silent movie.
Silent movie. There
Silent
you go.
movie.
There you go.
He's the only guy that says anything in there.
There you go.
And that's for all you people out there that are too young to know what we're talking about. Marceau is a famous mime. The silent movie film is a comedy that is silent
Mel Brooks.
except for the mime.
He's the only one that says anything.
So that's the joke.
yeah.
I wonder
An
if,
entire movie just to set up that one joke. Because it's at the end of the movie, right?
yeah,
How
Yeah.
long is it?
a movie length. It's a
Oh.
movie.
Hour and a half. It's a
But it's
silent
no-
movie.
Oh
It's
my gosh.
Mel Brooks, so it's funny. Mel Brooks is exceptionally funny.
Okay.
Comedic genius.
Do you know any Mel Brooks movies? Quick name a Mel Brooks movie.
I don't know, but I know I've seen his name in like intros.
All right, I'll give you one that one of your generation might know.
Okay.
Spaceballs.
I've never
movie.
seen that.
Young Frankenstein,
She's never
I
seen
haven't
that.
seen that.
Blazing Saddles.
No.
How about The Producers?
I have seen the
All right,
producers.
so
I
here you
really
go.
like
Producers.
the producers. Okay.
Springtime for Hitler.
Stop.
I had to go there.
Stop.
I had to go there.
Oh.
That show is so funny.
It is.
And I watched the remake too. With,
I
Will
like
Ferrell.
I like that. Was Will Ferrell in a remake?
Yeah, he's in the newer producers.
I did not know that.
They remade it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Oh.
it's like a remake of a remake of a remake.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like the third
man.
or fourth one, but it's so good.
Ouch.
I like
So
the
good.
original. I like the
Yeah,
original.
the original's good.
Hey, what can you say?
Sorry, Ferris Bueller, but I like the original.
Yeah.
So what's your plans for this week, Brianna?
Oh well, we're leading a range this week.
Leading a range.
Yes.
Leading a range. What does that mean?
So basically, my unit is going to open and close a range and be in charge of it.
Okay, so
For
a
3 days.
gun range. Pew pew.
Yes.
Pew,
We
pew.
don't know what you're doing yet, right? Are you on the paddles?
I have not been told yet. Well, initially they had me as doing ammo, but I told them that that'd be really hard on my arm, like doing repetitive motions like that. But they haven't put me on another job. But
Put me on another job.
yeah,
That's
Yeah.
a new-
I worded that badly, but
No, that
I
was
don't know
excellent.
I don't know what I'm going to be doing.
That
But
was excellent.
we're going to be doing day fire and night fire.
Ooh,
so
night
we're going
fire's
to be
fun.
out there all
Tracers.
day,
Pretty tracers.
all day and all night. Yeah.
You gonna be shooting in your masks?
No, we did that all last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
You guys are just armied out, huh?
I know.
You are a very hua band.
We are now because all of our gigs are canceled.
Well,
Being all you can be.
Yeah. So now they're like, oh, let's have the band do all this. It's like, oh, man, I guess.
what about you, Dave? Any plans?
No.
Really?
Nope.
Okay.
I found a contractor.
There you go. Hey, Dave found his contractor, so you can stop emailing us.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
nobody emailed us, by the way.
Oh.
I know.
Emailed.
But we did get 2 emails
Ah,
on the
yeah.
password, didn't we?
We did. So there will be a drawing.
Oh, man.
One of you lucky people out there will win something. I'll decide what it is, and then we'll announce it here on the show.
You have not. We got no swag.
I know.
We'll come up with something.
I will write the great big podcast on a piece of paper and tell you it's an iron-on. No, we'll come up with something.
Okay.
We'll come up with something cool.
Okay, yeah. You know what we still need to do? That reminded me. We still need to donate some money to get the brick for the new museum for the Great Big Podcast.
Yeah, we got to do that.
I can
Can we
bring
still
some
do that?
cash in. I think so.
All right. I'll take your word for it. You
Yeah.
seem to be an expert.
Yeah, I'll double check.
All
Well,
right.
they're not going to break ground until next month.
Yes.
They're supposed to break ground sometime
Yeah,
in September,
it's
right?
soon.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's
But
true. It is.
They won't need that brick for a couple of
Yeah, they
years.
won't need it for
Yeah.
a bit. But if we can contribute it and have our name in the hat, it'll come out eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The podcast. By the time they're done, the podcast will have been dead for 3 years.
No!
You're like, what's that?
Immortalized.
What's
Yes.
that?
I don't know. Who's podcast?
Hey, and then maybe they'll go back and listen, and then we'll get those more views. Yeah.
Man, none of us will care then. We will have all gone our separate ways. You'll be president.
Oh, I don't
Dave will own a baseball team, probably the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, no.
And I'll be eating sushi.
And climbing
That's right, climbing Mount
the
Fuji.
mountain.
My plans involve the New Mutants
Oh, it's so
Opening-
exciting.
opening Friday. Sneak previews on Thursday.
Yay. Does it feel like the world is getting back to normal now?
It kind of does. Now that
Yeah.
they've said that they've got sort of an idea on a coronavirus vaccine
yeah.
thing, the plasma treatment
Yes, I hope they
thing.
They're all in human.
undo
what?
some of these
They're
restrictions.
testing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe we're at the tail end of this thing.
Fingers crossed.
I
know.
hope so. It's been a year.
Knock on wood.
I
Yeah.
was at the store yesterday because we needed to pick up more masks.
Yeah.
And I had the thought, I was like, what if this is just a scam to sell masks? I don't know.
Somebody's making a killing.
Yeah, it's effective.
Yeah, somebody is.
Yeah, the price of masks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My goodness, 20 disposable masks for $15. And I think before all this, it was like $5.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness gracious, aren't we
Well,
capitalists?
my Green Bay Packer mask cost me, I don't know, $12.
I saw. So
Because, I had to represent.
Yeah.
It's almost
We
football
get the
season.
limited items.
you can get now designer masks, so brand names, like the one with the alligator.
Oh,
and
all these highfalutin New York designers are
yeah.
making masks now.
Yeah,
of course, they got to make a buck somehow.
The alligator masks, 3 for $50, and it says no returns.
Holy free holy.
Yeah, and it's just it's not like there's a filtration system.
Right.
It's the equivalent of you putting a T-shirt up to your face.
Nice.
The fashion that I'm into is also doing that. The
Really?
brands, all the big brands are doing it, and they're charging ridiculous amount. And you should, and on the secondhand market, it's double.
Why? Hold on. Why would you want to buy a secondhand mask?
So the thing is, people
depends on who wore it. I guess. Huh?
So the thing is, people won't actually use the things they buy; they just buy it and then they scalp it.
Oh, okay. So you haven't opened it.
Yeah, it's unopened. Yeah,
that's bad.
It's always like that, especially because it's such a niche community, and people are willing. They know people are willing to pay big bucks for it.
Well,
so somebody on the ground floor is buying up all the product.
Yes,
and then scalping
That's been going on since it started.
Oh, that's bad.
It's really annoying, and so it's kind of funny. So, the brands know that it's happening, so they try to deter the scalpers, and they made it a rule to where if you wanted to buy a dress or an item from the store, you had to be wearing a piece from the store. So you usually had to wear a dress. So that now you have like these Chinese dudes that show up and they stand in line and they're wearing like a dress over like basketball shorts and like regular t-shirt. It's like not even zipped up. They just like buy a
guys.
Yeah. And they go in and they're wearing the thing. So they let them, and they'll order like 40, 50 dresses.
Well, that's the equivalent of going to a fancy restaurant where you got to wear a blazer and you don't have one. You're completely underdressed. So they just throw a blazer at you.
But that's the restaurant making
they're
you
not
wear
trying
a
to profit.
coat
versus
you wearing a dress to buy dresses.
Yeah, and then they sell them and make a killing.
What if you were buying the dress
What kind
for
of
your
markup
wife?
are you talking about?
So it's normally around 50% more, but I've seen it go 200 to 400 and even higher.
Percent?
Yes.
That's a
double.
That's why they do it.
I need to get involved in this business, and you're saying all I need to do is have a dress in my size, huh?
It doesn't have to be in your size. It doesn't have to be zipped up.
You just got to be able to get two arms through.
What about a tutu? Could I wear a tutu? Would that be acceptable?
No.
Oh.
You have to
I'm
wear.
thinking full-length dress, her size. If you can get your hands through it, it might work as a shirt for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just say it's a mini skirt. It's a mini. I'm showing off what I got.
Yeah, but it is really annoying because then like the girls that actually want to buy it, they can't, and then you have to either pay even more than the retail value to get it.
Why wouldn't the store put, maximum whatever instead of letting somebody
Well,
buy them out?
They want to make more money.
They want to make the money.
Yeah.
If they can sell that product out fast,
Yes.
I mean, there are online retailers that are popular for video games, but they carry a whole lot of other things as well.
Right.
And that when a popular game, they'll have a limited edition of it, and it goes on sale, and people order 10 of them.
Yep.
Just for the express to scalp them.
Yep.
Right.
So it's not just men in dresses. These dress men could be sitting at home in their dresses ordering video games.
Just kind of shrug.
I'm
Hey,
sure.
that's capitalism, right?
It is.
It is.
It is supply and demand.
Yep. Supply and demand.
And I've been on the winning end of that stick.
You have. You've figured out the system.
so many times that I got no place to argue.
You cannot complain.
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to draw us to an end for this great big podcast. All right. Is Brianna too?
Absolutely.
It's been a good day.
It has
good morning.
It has. So we'll see y'all again next week at Thursday when
we get a movie review.
Ooh, yeah, I'll let you know what I
Yes.
thought of the movie.
I'm excited.
I'll let you know, and I'll
No spoilers.
all right.
No spoilers.
A spoiler-free review. Until then, you all stay safe out there and spay and neuter your pets.
Mask up.
Broken heart.